Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Monday, September 20th. We're going to take our Monday look at Palantir. I do cover Palantir every Monday, so if that would be interesting to you, please well, you don't have to like, but I would appreciate it. But subscribe if you want to get notified of Palantir videos every Monday. Well, Palantir obviously suffering from macro forces today. It's had one of the best run-ups as of late, for at least something that's not a penny stock, and coming down over 7.5% today. Though of very, very strong note, in my opinion, a lot of big buying volume the last couple of trading days, and then today on a big sell-off, not nearly as high volume. So pretty different from what we see in something like QQQ, where there is a large sell-off today, and though I mean not as much as a percent, but the volume coming up significantly higher on something like QQQ or probably even SPY with the sell pressure today. Yeah, so topping out, whereas you look at the volume on Palantir side, yes, it's high with the red volume, but this green volume that we've seen as of late being relatively on par or much higher than that. So to me, that still is a pretty positive sign. Now, if you're popping in and you haven't seen the previous videos that I put out on Palantir, this was the play that I've been playing for the time being. Looking that we had an impulsive move up here, and then a retracement, and now I'm looking for extension levels. Now my target on this that I've been saying for weeks, if you go back several weeks when I first drew this Fibonacci extension level in, $30.99 was my target. I was feeling really smart, like we were really chipping away and hitting that in a relatively, acceptable period of time. We've had this chart for about 2 months, and I still think that it has the opportunity. This to me, now could Palantir fall to macro forces and have this what has otherwise looked like it was going to go through with the trend and hit that $30.99 target? Could it fall to the macro forces and have that sort of completely bust an otherwise good move? Of course, but there's much more to be seen there. We'll have to keep an eye on those macro forces and just sort of see what the market overall does and act accordingly. There's not anything that can really do about it other than just sort of play what the market gives us. But for the time being, I'm still feeling that this play is pretty well intact, and I would need to see a really strong test and give of this 25.77 level in order to say that this play is no longer intact and is going to follow through. I do think had we not had sell-off today, whether that's sustained or not, I don't know, but I do think that we would have continued on, or at least we wouldn't have had a minus 7.5% day, but we might have had a little pullback like we saw here, right? We had pullback there, we had consolidation here, and that was well after when we had already set this play up. So it's not as though you're thinking something's going to go parabolic and incessantly higher and higher and higher until it hits your target. There's going to be stair steps on the way there, and so this could just end up to be a sort of glitchy kind of stair step on the way there. But like I said, until it tests and really doesn't do well with the test of 25.77, I am more than happy to treat this play as though it's still intact. So that's what I'm doing on my side. We are back in a zone, this red box here, we were talking about the previous topping outs, and it was able to blow really strongly through there, which is what we talked about in the video a couple weeks ago, saying that we had tested it now, a solid 3 times after this test, and that we might have exhausted all the selling pressure. So I'm interested to see if there is selling pressure that reignites in that range of like just over $27, like 27.25 to 27.5, or if it gets really sticky in that zone again and is met with a lot of selling pressure. We'll have to see. First, it needs to sort of reverse trend here and come back up to even meet that price before it can try to shove through. But the volume does give me some hope, so we'll just have to watch and see what happens on that side of things. If we throw the MAs in here, I know it gets a little bit clustered, but it really caught support on the 20 MA today, and we have a little bit of a mixed bag here. It's not a fully bullish setup actually, because the 50 is below the 200. So we do still have the possibility for the 50 to cross over the 200, which would be a bullish cross and could be a tailwind for Palantir to push toward that $30.99 target. But I'm most interested to see also if this 20 MA holds. Now I know I'm sort of saying I have two things that I'm most interested in, but I'll say that I'm of equal interest on the 20 MA holding and that 2577 level holding, which is the 50% extension level. But that's what I'm going to be looking for in the coming days, and then certainly continue to keep an eye on the volume to see if we do get exceedingly high selling volume on some of these big red days. If there are more big red days to come, who knows? So even with the big sell-off today, RSI just testing the midline, which I don't need it to test oversold in order to feel good that there could be buying pressure there. There's a lot of times when it comes down and does test the midline, and it treats it either as support or resistance. So coming down and testing it and then carrying on isn't a big deal to me. So if it can bounce off of this 50, high 40s, low 50s area on the RSI and head back toward overbought territory, that would be a really good sign, in my opinion, of overall strength of Palantir and the overall buying pressure in maybe not the market, but in this stock in particular. So those are the things I'm going to be looking for to try to decipher what in the world is going to happen, especially depending on if the macro forces get a little bit stickier, a little bit thornier, how they could come in to throw some monkey wrenches in the wheels of the truck or the train that Palantir was, the rocket ship that Palantir was trying to be for the last few weeks. All right, folks, so I hope that you survived the day okay, and I certainly wish you the best in the week ahead. I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.